of course, excellent randomizer runners. Both of them did unfortunately lose their first round match, so in the second week here, they are trying to come back with a victory. Short explanation on how this works. We have 6 match days, and if you have at least 3 wins, you will qualify for the next round. With the 3 wins, you will be put into a tiebreaker situation, where you will have one big tiebreaker race. With 4 wins, you will have a guaranteed pass. So we'll already see both runners starting off a bit differently here. Z4T0X immediately starting from the Sanctuary, finding the Cape, while SirNiko is going to the Uncle first. We have a single rupee as 1 tree pull. 1 enemy kill tree pull. That's pretty... You'd like a couple more. Oh, and we have the Moon Pearl next to the Uncle. That is pretty good. Can do a couple of fancy things with the Moon Pearl sequence break-wise, but we'll probably get to that in a little bit when they are done with their Kakariko visits. For now, they scouted Z4T0X scouted the Lumberjack Cave, and it was nothing, so that means that for that purpose, Aga is not required. It's always a good thing. Finding some bombs here. Just want to make sure that early on, especially in an open seat, you either get money or you find bombs somehow. Because bombs enable you to check a lot more locations at the very start, compared to, well, when you don't get them. It's also 20 rupees here, which Z4T0X will gladly take. Whereas SirNiko just now catching up with what Z4T0X just did. And yeah, their first locations they're gonna check. Of course, Kakariko Village. Tons of items in here. We'll see what it will give them today. Z4T0X taking an interesting route there to avoid the guards. And yeah, remember, it is an open mode tournament, meaning they are starting openly and without a sword. So that could be an interesting factor on how they approach certain things during this race. Okay, first of all, Z4T0X is going into blindside. Let's see what we get here. Doesn't look... a couple rupees at least. That's something. You always want to make sure to have those, because the bottle vendor gives you an item for 100 rupees. So that's kind of nice. Don't have to worry about that. Can also buy bombs with 150. Bombs cost 50 rupees at the shop here, so that's pretty good. Beeping strats. Alright, falling down the well. For now, Nico is following Z4T0X around pretty much, just having that small advantage of having the Moon Pearl from the Uncle. There's a bottle, that's amazing for Kakariko. There's the sick hit here that you can only get the item from when you have 1 bottle in your inventory, and getting that here is very, very convenient, so you don't have to come back later. And we did find a sword, so our runners will be able to fight back against enemies, guaranteed. It's always nice to have that very early on in an open seed, so yeah. Other than that, though, we, for now, not find anything too important. A couple good convenience items. Couple upgrades here and there, couple rupees here and there, but yeah, they're just like kind of like coming along. See what Sick Kid actually has for us. Just a piece of heart. Ooh, but we find the hammer at the back of the bar here. Very nice. That's one very important item right there. The hammer, not only is it a very strong weapon, it also enables them later on in Darkwood especially. It's part of requirements for a lot of dungeons, so and also part of requirement for Darkwood access in a couple spots, so that's a very, very important one. On its own, it really is just good as a weapon, and for now it does not do a lot, but combined with a couple other items, it's definitely probably the most important item to find. And we have powder in the library. That's interesting. In order to get the library item, you need the boots. In order to bonk against the bookshelf and get the item there. So, and the powder is usually something that you would only get for safety, but it also frees up one location, the magic bat. So that could be kind of an interesting thing. Z4T0X deciding after checking the 300 rupees in the race, hey, I might want to have those 300 for Zora, which is definitely not a bad call here. So he's taking his time and actually doing the race, getting those. Let's see, Nico probably thinking the same, or yeah, he's going for the same play here, which is definitely a good choice, IMO. You don't want to like come around to the Zora area or checking the Zora area and then you don't have enough money. That's definitely not something you want to do. So yeah, Z4T0X has coming out of Kakariko has a lot of items. Curious to see when he will check the uncle, because remember, next to the uncle was the Moon Pearl. So that's definitely a very important location for him to check. I wonder how long he will hold off with that. For now, he's going to the dam, and I'm pretty sure Nico will follow up with that play as well. Got another bottle, but this time with a bee. We might actually see that used as well. A bee works very well in the mini Moldorm cave, for instance, so that might actually see some usage here. And the bow! I don't think we have seen a map check yet, but it would now be interesting to know what dungeon is Eastern. That would probably be on my mind right now. Z4T0X, not quite as interested in that just yet. Maybe we can see a map check on Nico in a little bit. For now, Z4T0X is going with Sword Stress for the mini Moldorm Cave. Again, I mentioned if you release the bee here, it will at least kill 3 of these for free, so that's definitely a very nice thing to do. Getting in there, though. Let's see what we have. A shield. The shield can be useful. It's not quite a high priority item, but we got a red boomerang. That's not too bad, but if I'm running a rando seed, I'd wish to get a bit more than that out of the mini Moldorm cave, if I'm quite honest. But I've seen worse. I've seen worse. Okay, Nico also deciding to do sword strats. Going to pick up the same items as Z4T0X has just now, and I believe Z4T0X is just making a run for Eastern here. Definitely not a bad call with the bow in hand. You can guaranteed finish the dungeon. It's just a question of, is Eastern a pendant or is it a crystal? And then with Logic 26, which has a lot of items in dungeons, Eastern is definitely a bit more lucrative than it used to be as well, so we'll have to see what he decides to do right there. First of all, of course, checking Sasha's hut. And silver arrows! Oh man! Oh, that's great! That's amazing! That makes the bow so much more powerful. Silver arrows are the most powerful thing in the game, and I think I saw 2 crystals in Eastern and Desert, and the green pendant in Hera. Didn't quite catch the numbers of the crystals. In the meantime, we can see Nico, I mentioned this, you can do some neat things with the Moon Pearl. He's abusing a little glitch with the... he gets gloves for it! Oh, that is huge! He has Dark World access! Oh! That is amazing! Now this is a little glitch you can do when you have the Moon Pearl that basically resets Link's position after screen transitions. If you fake Flipper into the cave, go back out, it resets so that Link will actually be placed standing instead of swimming, and that way, yeah, you can enter the cave and actually sequence break it without the flippers. Again, the Moon Pearl is the requirement for that though, but yeah, that's a huge one. That's a huge one. Z4T0X did, of course, decide to do Eastern because, well, it's a crystal. I have to do it anyways. I have to bow. Let's go. But yeah, Nico will be able to actually check all the glove locations that Z4T0X is currently missing out on, and you know what? This might actually be the intended mid location. So if we see Z4T0X potentially find a glove here at some point, we know where mids are, and I think that's not too far off, honestly. So far, Eastern not holding a lot, though. I am looking at chat, don't worry, but yeah, I have to I have to talk about two people, and they are doing different things, and especially then it's hard for me to respond, so bear with me here, bear with me. Don't worry. I gotcha, I gotcha. So Nico deciding to go for the Lonely Sewer chest here in the dark. Ooh. It's a bit tricky to get here, and especially the chest location is not as natural as you would think it is, so it can sometimes be hard to actually get behind the chest here. You see, he has a little bit of trouble. Totally understandable. Will he be able to open it? It's a lot trickier, and it's the shovel. Okay. Now just tell me the shovel is something good, and we're game. Is he checking it immediately? He better be. Oh man. No! Don't go to Eastern! Ah, no! Ah. He's checking the island item, which is just a heart. Now checking the... we have Crystal 3 at Eastern, is what I saw. Didn't quite catch Desert yet again. Also missed what Z4T0X picked up there in that one little chest on Eastern. It might have been the big keep. He didn't actually catch if he found that earlier. But yeah, Nico definitely with a small early game advantage here, depending on what Z4T0X does after Eastern. Curious, since he doesn't have the Moon Pearl, it's highly route dependent what he will do afterwards. I don't know if he will check the escape or not. For now, he did find a heart in the big chest, and he has to also do the Dark Rooms in Eastern here. Let's see. Silver arrows, unfortunately, do not light up the room, even though they sparkle and shine. He's kind of searching for the Igor with the key here. Not quite getting the location down. There he is. Now just gotta aggro him, and there he goes. And then we'll see what Armos Knights will have in store for us. But yeah, I think Eastern didn't really pay out anything. Crystal 6 at Desert. Thank you very much, Tifa. Good observation there. Oh. Z4T0X might have a little bit of trouble here in the Dark Room. Didn't quite catch that, but apparently there is the pot before the key door is a bit in a tricky spot, so if you approach it from the wrong angle, it's kind of hard to lift it up, but I think... yeah, he got it right now. He should be out of there. There we go. Okay, so he had a little bit of trouble with that, but yeah, definitely made a good call there going out of... if you don't know where you are in the room, it's definitely a good call to maybe just back out, kind of regroup, and then go back in, so definitely a decent play there. Alright, finishing up the last couple rooms here. And then we have the first boss, Armos Knights, now with Silver Arrows. Usually, what you're supposed to do in this battle, Vanilla, is you have to hit all the Armos Knights 3 times with 1 arrow. With the upgrade, the silver arrows, they all die from one shot and are, you know, easy. And that's the first crystal for Z4T0X here. So yeah, curious to see, what does Z4T0X do from here? There's a couple of options he has, but... we'll see right now. He might decide to go to... yeah, okay. He's going to do not only the Uncle Chest, but probably follow it up by going to Escape. And that's the one place where Niko hasn't been yet, the front part of Escape, so there could be a glove there. Or maybe the flippers even, we'll see, we'll see. So Z4T0X will be picking up his Moon Pearl momentarily, while Niko is making his way through the Dark Room first Dark Room in Eastern here, picking up his big key soon. Cave strats, not too bad. If you're not confident with your damage boost there, that's definitely not a bad idea. Okay, so Z4T0X getting the Moon Pearl, actually deciding, you know what? Let's sequence break instead, because he knows he can access the waterfall cave like that. Doesn't have the money quite for Zora yet, though. He's missing 23 rupees. Gloves were in the waterfall cave, which is currently a sequence break still, so... that could be the potential intended mid-location, actually, which is kind of interesting. Maybe it is the intended glove location, we don't know yet. And flippers are just hiding in some location here, but we'll find out in a bit. Yeah, Z4T0X is definitely just gunning for the waterfall cave straight up here. And he'll be very pleased to find his glove upgrade. Provided he doesn't get sniped! Oh dear. Yeah, if you're in the fake flipper status and gets hit by anything, it's an instant death. So that sets him back, and that makes me wonder, will he persist? He will, probably, which is a good call. But I wouldn't know if I would do that again now. Ay ay ay. That's a setback for Z4T0X for sure. Very unfortunate there. In the meantime, Niko having a bit of trouble. The Igor's here, but ultimately getting it done. Forgetting about his silver arrows, actually. Yeah, you're not expecting to have them this early. I understand that you may forget about them. So we'll see the actual Armos fight here, where it takes him 3 arrows to kill an Armos Knight, and then he'll be able to take them out. Z4T0X swimming around, trying to hit that whirlpool. My heart! Yeah, you have to press Y one time to equip the silver arrows in the randomizer. There we go. He finds an arrow and then the glove upgrade. That will make him happy at least. So like he died and then still he gets the sequence breaks gloves. That's really good for him. That makes him probably feel a bit better about his death, even though he still won't be pleased about that. But Z4T0X probably instinctively thinking, hey, okay, I got everything I need to be in Dark World, let's go, and there we go. While Niko is more in the conservative department here and is trying to, like, you know, get behind that sequence break, trying to find the item that he was missing in order to obtain that glove. He's checking Escape right now. Okay, we got a pendant at Pod and Swamp, and the other fiver in Thieves Town. Alright. So Pod and Swamp as pendants. Ooh, the Myrrh. After finding out that Swamp is a pendant dungeon, I'm not sure if I would be happy about that. It's obviously also a very good convenience item. But yeah, Hype Cave for once showing something here. Has not been delivering in this tournament so far, but yeah, that's definitely something. He has everything except the flippers for Swamps, so I'm not sure if that's an indicator that Swamp Palace might hold something. There are the flippers in Escape! So the gloves were actually part of the early route, not the mid upgrades. Also Z4T0X, yeah, he's kind of surrounded in Dark World at the moment by pendant dungeons. He can only access Swamp and Pod from here, pretty much. He can go from the Sanctuary and try to do some Village of Outcasts and Thieves Town stuff, but yeah, Escape. Having the flippers, it feels to me like Swamp Palace is a definite go-to location right here. Yes, the mirror was in Hype Cave, the guy gave it to him. Z4T0X finishing up his lower Darkwood route here by going to the digging game. And so far nobody has gone to Zora yet either, and I think that Niko might be actually redeeming that here. Also, oh, nice vanilla heart piece here on the digging game. Niko also checking Ice Cave as it looks. Definitely not a bad choice. You kind of hate to travel all the way over here just for that one item. But at the same time, if this is an item that you need, you don't want to miss out on it. So better check early rather than later. One dig was all it took. Okay, yeah, and Z4T0X deciding to make use of the mirror and use the portal here in Kakariko to get into the Village of Outcasts, so we'll see how he approaches that part. There's really two things Z4T0X can do from here. A lot of players do like to do the early Skullwoods check, because Skullwoods has been known in this logic to pay out pretty well. Or, you know, you just, like, with the hammer, you don't have to worry about anything. You can just, like, straight up jump into Thieves Town, do the dungeon, and see what that holds out for you. It's really, like, two types of players that... some will just always go to Thieves Town, others will always go to Skullwoods first. Let's see, Z4T0X seems to be of the first type of player here. Trying to make his way to the main hub here of the Village of Outcasts, whereas Niko is checking Zora, actually. Ooh, and the Cane of Samaria in the chess game. That's an item they definitely want to get their hold on eventually, but it's a pretty early one. Zora just with bombs. But yeah, Z4T0X not afraid of the sequence breaks here, even though he knows that he kind of sequence broke those gloves. He doesn't really care, whereas Niko is a bit more careful. As you can see, he's first checking everything he can that he was supposed to check, and then deciding to, you know, maybe go into Dark World. So he's a bit more cautious that he doesn't miss out on anything here, which is understandable. Ooh, we got an Ether Medallion in the Village of Outcasts as well. It's always good to find medallions early, especially if both Meyer and T-Rock are crystal dungeons. You do love to see those medallions. But we'll have to see which one they actually need. And Hobo also just giving his heart for our players. Z4T0X into his second dungeon, Thieves Town, and this is Crystal 5. So this could potentially be important for the Fat Fairy later on. Let's see what Thieves Town will have in store for us today. Ooh, the red mail, that's not too bad. I think players of this level, they don't really care that much about the red mail, but at the same time, somebody followed Z4T0X. I mean, at the same time, it's a nice thing to have, because, you know, more armor always good, can do a bit more risky plays here and there. Not too bad. We will find out what the shovel does, just money. Okay, we got the second item in Thieves Town, which was just rupees. And then we have a key, so 2 more items left here. Andy, my man. I unfortunately failed in getting commentary for your match later. Sorry, that's just on the side, but... yeah, Nico is actually really making sure he got everything before he goes into Dark World. He's going to check Agnes Cave here. Very careful play. Maybe a bit too careful, if you ask me. It's good to be thorough at the start of the run, especially. Because sequence breaking can get you in kind of like a way of thinking where you might miss a thing or two in your own personal logic. So I understand that, but at the same time, the level these guys are playing on, you might have to take some risks here and there in order to be victorious. But we'll see, we'll see. And Agnes Cave doesn't hold anything either. So yeah, now Nico probably going to catch up a little bit on Darkwood stuff. Interestingly enough, he's going to start out in the village of Outcasts. So he's going to make his way over there. Or maybe this could also be a cheeky play and he could decide to go up to Death Mountain because he does have the gloves. Ooh. Haha. Okay, I like it. I like it. He's technically not supposed to do that yet, because you're supposed to have the lamp for this one as well. So, I do like that deviation from him. We'll see. Additionally, if you make it through this cave, you get an additional save and quit point, which I always like to have, honestly, because you can travel, especially without the flute, that makes travel a bit easier sometimes. So not a bad call here on Nico's end. We see Z4T0X going into the basement of Thieves Town, and this is where we will see whether this dungeon holds any value for him. Now the main thing about Thieves Town is really, it's a pretty easy dungeon. However, if you don't have the boots, it's a lot slower than if you have the boots. Like even compared to other dungeons, even there's a lot of long stretches that you could dash through that makes your time loss without the boots pretty huge. And Z4T0X does find the nets, which is a decent safety item, but I think with the red mail in tow and the amount of hearts they have, he doesn't really care about that too much. And since he didn't open the big chest, I assume that he did find another item at the top. So, Thieves Town not really having anything here. Going into the blind fight. Getting a bit of cycle here. Blind, for those who don't know, actually doesn't care about what you hit him with, pretty much. He will always take the same damage, which is 1. You just need to hit him 3 times in 3 cycles. And then he dies. He's on a pretty scripted fight too. If you hit him at the right times, you can avoid every shot from him. Z4T0X got a bit off there, but at the end, finish him off for his second crystal. And yeah, on Death Mountain, Nico didn't find anything of substance, so he will make his Dark World tour, or start his Dark World tour right now. And Z4T0X makes sure to check the map and think to himself, what can I do right now? And probably the next answer would be Skullwoods. He cannot complete Skullwoods, but Skullwoods is always a good answer. Of course, with the cape, he's going to check Bumper Cave first. He can also do the Graveyard Cliff item, check that with the mirror. And yeah, Nico is actually jumping into Skullwoods immediately. There are the boots! Oh, that must hurt a little bit, actually. That must hurt a little bit. Oh man, that's still a great find for him. He's going to be happy, but just after walking through Thieves Town, you find the boots. That must hurt a little bit. It means that SirNiko will show us what Skullwoods has in store for us. What are those? But yeah, that is a definite advantage for Z4T0X. Unfortunately for him, I believe Nico, after his Skullwoods check, will definitely head over there. He's going to check the Graveyard Cliff item, and of course also, with the boots, two item locations unlocked right here. The Bonk Rocks and the King's Tomb, and he will check those as well. And the Fire Rod! Oh, that is huge, actually. Now, never mind what I said. Z4T0X is a genius. Don't listen to me. Z4T0X is a genius because now he can complete Skullwoods. That's how fast it can turn on you in a randomizer. Nico dying there, unfortunately missing the bomb jump to the big chest a couple times. No blame here, it's a pretty tough one, especially without boots. As Andy mentions in chat, it's a 2 pixel bomb jump, gets it there easily, making it look easy. Yeah, don't listen to me. I usually when I say something, it's not true then in the next within the next 5 seconds, so that's definitely a good rule of thumb right there. Okay, so yeah, Z4T0X must actually be relatively happy with how that turned out. But like I said, SirNiko is not far behind. He's getting the boots right here. And he will make sure... Interesting. Nico might actually decide to go back to Skullwoods after getting the Fire Rod, honestly. Oh, he doesn't have the mirror yet. Never mind. Yeah, he wasn't at the lower part yet, so he can't actually get the Fire Rod now. See, this is why Z4T0X is a genius. So he will be happy about the boots, but what will he do from there? That, in return, will make his item checks for the first part of Dark World a bit faster than Z4T0X was. And Z4T0X has a bit of item location catching up to do. But, yeah. Ooh, a death for Nico there. So he might actually decide to go to Sanctuary from here. Yeah, and check the boot locations. I would have done the same. That is a minor setback, but just getting off with the boots, he might not mind too much. You never want to die. If you didn't kill Aga 1 and don't have the mirror, you really hate to die on the overworld in Dark World because it will automatically put you back in Light World. And that's 99% of the time, that's an inconvenience for you. He will, however, say bless RNG because he gets the Fire Rod immediately afterwards and it's probably like, wow, that was lucky. Yeah, he's just like bolting, ignoring King's Tomb, he's bolting back here. Let's see what he decides to do. Oh, he's deciding to get the powder. Remember, that one was in library. That's interesting. I'm not sure if Z4T0X will remember that. But that's a really good... Powder is probably the #1 safety item. Because you can transform the anti-fairies into actual fairies. And that... You know, anti-fairies are relatively common in most dungeons. So you definitely take that over a Nets or a mail upgrade probably. So yeah, not a bad choice here to get that. Of course, also enables him to check this magic bat over here. Which, if this guy holds an item, that'd be juicy. But yeah, the one advantage Z4T0X has right now is he will be able to finish Skullwoods. Which is probably his intention right now. Aw, just a piece of heart. Okay. So yeah, Z4T0X is going to finish Skullwoods. It's also a crystal, so that's not a bad play, and definitely saves some time over what Nico did there. even though Nico had no control over that, basically. The boss of Skullwood's Mothula is a bit iffy with just the Fighter Sword. You really kind of want to have the Master Sword at least for reliable fights. You'll see most runners try to fight Mothula with the hammer in these instances, which can be a bit tricky because the hammer hitbox questionable at times. Questionable. Yeah, Z4T0X will make do here probably. And yeah, I'm not sure if Nico is confident enough for that. He might try to do Thieves Town first. He is confident. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Nice full magic drop there for Z4T0X. The Fire Rod does just as much damage as the Master Sword would, so having full magic for Mothula here is definitely a big advantage in the fight. Alright, we're going in, boys. See what he decides to do. He's still going for the dash sword poke at the start here, which can net him a double hit. And then, yeah, going for the fire rod shots. The problem with Mothula is if you push him into spikes, the damage you are supposed to deal to him will not be dealt. So Z4T0X getting a pretty good pattern, though. I think it's just one hit off, honestly. Just has to hit him with the hammer, trying to go for a spin. Yeah, it was 2 hits. Alright, very nicely done there by Z4T0X. Very good, very nice play. Dropping off the compass there. Nico not too far behind, but remember Z4T0X already, having done Thieves Town, is a crystal ahead at this point. Nico does have a bit more locations checked though, and Nico did not see his full magic drop, unfortunately. I'm not sure I like this. Yeah, Z4T0X checking the map again, seeing, hey, what's going on here? And Nico releasing the bee! Not the bees! It disappeared almost immediately. He's deciding to go for Fighter Sword spins, which is not a bad idea, honestly. They do the same amount of damage as a Master Sword swing. It's just kind of tough to make sure that they connect. Gotta be careful. He's doing a good job, but... Come on, you have to be dead, dude! Oh! Oh! So clutch, dude! So clutch! Well done! Keeping his cool, getting Mothula down. Very, very nice. Well earned crystal right there. In the meantime, Z4T0X deciding to go check Pyramid and Catfish. Now the thing is, remember, the flippers are in Escape, and Z4T0X never went there. So the flippers immediately gave them access to Swamp Palace, which is also a pendant. However, it's kind of, you could say, with the flippers, it's fishy that they would give you the Swamp Palace setup this early, but yeah. Feel free to disqualify me from commentary after this. Alright, let's see what Catfish has. A mushroom! Interesting. He can deliver that immediately. He does have the mirror, so it's just going to do just that. That's one of the items that you kind of don't want to see from Catfish because it makes you work more for the actual item, but yeah, sure, why not? In the meantime, Nico's still trying to find an item in Skullwoods, which we know is behind here in the Vanilla Big Key location. So he'll find his arrow upgrade right there. Alright. What do you have for us? What magic brew have you in store for us today? Ah, it's just rupees. However, Z4T0X is also deciding to stock up on blue potions, which is not a bad idea. He does have a lot of money left over as well. He never checked Zora, though, even though it was right there. Interesting. I guess it's kind of like his gamble for this seat, maybe, to say, huh, Zora, no, sorry. I think Nico just death warped there, by the way. I see a nut like this, but that was probably a death warp to get to the start of the room a bit quicker. Okay, and Z4T0X decide, okay, Pendant Dungeon, since he doesn't have the flippers, well, he has to go to Pod now, as a gamble. Whereas Nico might decide to go to Swamp first if he remembers the order of the that the game gave him the items in. First of all, Nico is, of course, will have to do the remaining Darkwood stuff he missed out on earlier, but yeah. So we got the Pod gamble here. They have all the items they need for this dungeon, so this is not a bad choice. This is definitely not a bad choice. But we'll see. We'll see. Considering the hammer and the bow were basically free items given to you, anything really could be here. With pendant dungeons, especially in the 26 logic, you kind of start to expect items to be in pendant dungeons. Once in a while, you have your odd seeds out that will give you no items in any pendant dungeons, of course, but at the same time, runners are a lot more wary about pendant dungeons than they used to be, so that's why you see Z4T0X bolting into Pod here, like, without even checking all the overworld locations he has left. Which might be a good move, we'll see. Got a small key here, probably a small key at the bottom, and then we'll move through the dungeon. And Nico did pick up his first mail upgrade. I actually forgot where the red mail was for. Like, I mean, Z4T0X got the red mail in Thieves Town, but I forgot where the first mail upgrade was for him, to be fair. I totally did not. Probably in the lower parts of Darkwood somewhere, and I just missed it barely. Yeah, something like Hype Cave is definitely possibility. Nice cave strats by SirNiko here in the Hellway. That's definitely, if you're not confident with your dashes, good. Oh, and the lamp in Pod! Wow, okay. That's a big one right there. The lamp, not really that important, but it's important logic-wise. Now, Z4T0X knows that he can go anywhere, no more dark rooms. The runners all have the skill to navigate dark rooms, but sometimes if you find an item in a dark room, you're starting to kind of worry about how the seat wanted you to approach certain locations. So with that out of the way, he has nothing to worry about in that regard. And it's kind of ironic that a dungeon with dark rooms has the lamp in it, so yeah, that's a good one. Alright, let's see what else is here. We got a pair of red rupees, heart piece, a pair? No, the Master Sword! Alright, you love to see that. Sword upgrades always needed. We've had seats before where runners almost had to search for the Master Sword upgrade, so definitely a relief to get a sword upgrade right there. I believe we have one more item left in this dungeon, so he will be looking for that one. I'm not quite sure if he picked up the big key yet either, so yeah. There's a map. That's definitely not what he wanted. Sorry. There's the big key, and now he wants an item. You do not want to fight the boss in a pendant dungeon. I'm not sure. He might decide to not do that if the boss has the item. We'll see. Ooh, it's Quake! Alright! That could also be important for later, so he must be happy with this. Helmosaur has the compass. Yeah. That's a pretty good haul right there. Unfortunately, nothing if that helps him in the immediate approach. So he kind of has to go back to the locations he missed out on earlier. Yeah, that's really... He can sequence break... Oh, it's not a sequence break anymore. He does have the lamp now, so he's going up to Death Mountain. Never mind me. I'm just a liar. Sorry. Of course, he can now go up and the game actually thinks, hey, this is legit, because yeah, he has the lamp. With the mirror in hand, he can even go up to Hera and then go to the east side of Death Mountain, which unlocks a couple more locations, so... Never mind me. Never mind me, I'm just like... I'm just lying. So yeah, we know Hera is the green pendant though, so it's not immediate crystal progress for him. We'll see what else is there though. As with Hera there being the green pendant, I feel like he will at least try to take a look. But I would be inclined to try and finish that dungeon. Hera is a very quick dungeon, so I can't imagine him thinking really anything else. Nico getting his first try dig heart piece. So Nico will soon get his mirror as well, and we know that he needs to go into pot at least. Well, I mean, has to is a strong word. He, logic-wise, has to get the lamp there, but... If he feels... Oh, and there are the Titansmiths in Hera! He would not have been able to check the Totoro. You need the Titansmiths in order to get access to the Dark World on Death Mountain, but he just found them, so now he can. Now he can do everything. It's pretty great. That's exactly probably what he wanted to see going up here, honestly. And yeah, he will go through the dungeon, the rest of the dungeon, and try to get all items, get the medallion, and then get out of there. Check out East Death Mountain. Totally predicted it. Yeah, that's what I would have done. Nico did find, by the way, his mirror as well. So, and the hook shot! Whoa! What is this Hera? Holy moly! Holy moly! All the goods right here. All the goods. He must be feeling really good about that. Alright, we're seeing Hammer Moldorm. The hammer does temperate sword damage, so 3 hits from the hammer are good enough. The Master Sword as a spin attack would also do the same, but he's opting for the hammer. Bringing him down, getting the green medallion, and I'm sure he's bolting over to the right side of Death Mountain and checking out all those locations. Nico forgetting that he doesn't have the hook shot. And yeah, Z4T0X could be very close to go mode. He definitely needs the flute for Meyer. He definitely needs the ice rod for Trinix and Turtle Rock. But other than that, he could be all set up. Now the logic thinks, or will require him to get the flippers for Ice Palace usually, but he can also just decide to fake flipper into that. So the only really hard required dungeon with flippers is Swamp, and that's a pendant. So we're very close here. But Nico not far behind. Like he's not slouching. He's gonna get himself some mitts and hook shots. I wouldn't say Z4T0X has this in the bag now. The thing is, if Swamp does have an item, and Z4T0X refuses to go to escape, that could hurt him very badly. I don't want to like jinx it or anything, but that's a potential that potential thing that could happen here. He seems to be one step ahead of Nico the whole way here, but oh no, did he go out after the mitts? Oh no, Nico, no. Never mind. This is a disaster. This is a disaster. Oh no. Oh no. This is why you finish pendant dungeons, my friends. Write that down. Well, I mean, if he could hover, it wouldn't even matter, honestly, but I'm pretty confident Nico can't hover. Ah, that hurts. That hurts. Death Mountain being stingy, by the way. I don't think he got anything out of that. Hoping for Dark Death Mountain to hold a little bit more. And we might get a bit of info there as well on Z4T0X. Ah, Nico, interestingly enough, deciding to... Oh, never mind. He's just creating a portal for faster travel. Interesting strategy. Oh. Oh. Ah, got him. Now we're still looking for a couple, so... And if Z4T0X has bombos, well, you know. Still out there. Still out there. But that will hurt Nico. He won't go back to Hera anytime soon. For his sake, I hope he might gamble Swamp, maybe, and that Swamp has something. That was Quake? Did I see Quake? I'm not sure. Somebody confirm, please. But I'm 99% sure I saw Quake, but somebody confirm. It's Ether? Ether. Ooh, Tempered. Nice. It just flashed on the right side of my screen. And I just saw a wave, but like the wrong way around, I guess. But yeah, both have Ether, so they could... If they wanted to, they could go into Z4T0X. Which is interesting. That's a pretty neat gamble. Well, and when I say neat gamble, that's that's a pretty risky gamble to do, especially without the Ice Rod, but that could be a thing they could decide to do. Z4T0X being thorough with his Death Mountain here, deciding to check absolutely everything, including Spike Cave. Yeah, we had Tempered Sword and Hookshot Cave, but I believe that Nico will get his sword upgrade here as well. Yep, this is the chest, and yep. So Nico with Master Sword in hand. I don't know. Maybe he will decide to go back into Hera. I'm just like kind of wishing here at this point. Please go to Hera. That's the right direction, but unfortunately, I think he'll. Oh no, Nico, no, no. Well, actually, I mean, going in here and finding the flute or something could be. Yeah, he's going in. He's going in there, hoping for something to happen. I don't know if he analyzed the situation correctly that he's behind or something, but this is not a bad play if you feel you are behind. Like, if you feel you have to do something to get back into the race, this is not a bad play. If the flute or something is in Z4T0X, that could be huge for him. In the meantime, Z4T0X deciding to fake Flipper into ice, We of course know that the flippers are right there in this cave, so it's not really a sequence break. He doesn't know that though. He'll probably assume it since he does have the Titan's mitts, but yeah. He's going in. He's going in, my friends, so yeah. Give SirNiko your bless RNGs. He needs to have something happen here in this dungeon. That's a cane, but Ice Rod and Flute would be the ideal outcome. Z4T0X not finding anything in ice in the first chest. Z4T0X has access to a lot of things right now. Ice is definitely not a bad choice. Since the rest is pretty pendant heavy, aka Swamp Palace. And Nico does not have that hookshot, so he has to go the long way around here with the fire. Alright. Z4T0X struggling a little bit with the bomb jump, surprisingly. There we go. See, he did get a small key in the first chest, so he can check all the right sides here of ice. It's very nice for him. Not the greatest Chomp Room RNG there. For Nico, he makes it through though, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, the first item for Z4T0X in ice there, which is just the red rupee. And the ice rod. Oh, that hurts to see, especially with Nico being in Turtle Rock. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Not like this. And 10 arrows. So Z4T0X actually found all items there, which means he can just finish the dungeon. That was more than ideal Ice Palace right there if you're going in there and decide, okay, I'm a full clear it. More than ideal. Yeah, and Nico will be hurting from the TR play. Unless, of course, there's like the hope that the flute is in here, like you said, but even that would not be a big deal at this point anymore. Because he will have to come back here, remember. We know he can't finish the dungeon. So... Dark Link superior to regular Link. Well, I mean, it's not over until it's over, of course, but it doesn't look very hot for Nico right now. Because, yeah. Ooh, Z4T0X with a very nice NMG kill setup there. Very well done on Cold Stare. Nice. Short work. I just kind of want something to be in here for Nico, really. Just like something. Give him some hope. There is still Swamp Palace, though, which could bite Z4T0X. If the flute is in Swamp Palace, for instance, or something like Bombos even, that might be the furthest thing from his mind to check right now, so... And yeah, Z4T0X on the other hand thinks, hey, I got everything to clear TR, let's do it! Why not? You know, it won't hurt me at this point. I'm still looking for that flute. It's the only crystal dungeon I can do right now, so yeah, sure, why not? Oh yeah, and Nico never found the lamp, that's right, he hasn't visited Pot yet. Now, this is a dark room that is relatively straightforward, as long as you stay on track here. If you've memorized the layout, you just know, okay, I gotta hold this direction at that time and I'm okay. If you get off track though, it's very hard to come back from it. Nico going through the room very easily. And, yeah. See if we have anything the Turtle will give us right now. Doesn't really look that way. Even though he wants to believe that the Ice Shroud is in here. We know it's in Ice Palace. Unfortunate. Now, Nico can't feel good about that. So he might decide to gamble even further. We'll see. And this time, if he goes to Swamp Palace, which I suspect he might... not quite sure about what he wants to do here. Yeah. I don't want to say he's panicking, but he's kind of like in the mode right now where he's like, I gotta do something. Something big has gotta happen soon. And he's trying to decide, where am I going? And Pod is the answer, which is... For starters, that's not a bad thing that he does right now. There's Quake in there, there's the lamp in there, as we know, so that will definitely make him feel a little bit better. But it's nothing big like the flute, so... He might maintain the gamble mode afterwards. And maybe Swamp has something. Like, it has to be in the chests that are accessible without the hookshot, because he also forgot that one in Hera. But, yeah. All we can do is pray right now for Nico. In the meantime, Z4T0X playing really well. Making few mistakes. Just doing his thing. Going from dungeon to dungeon, finding the items. Now this will be a little bit of a... Yeah, I don't want to say Z4T0X is going to stagnate here a little bit, but, you know, he's not going to find anything, you know, he needs. So that might get him thinking, where am I going from here? And I mean... There's also still a thing that could happen where Nico suddenly finishes all pendant dungeons and the pedestal has something, like a flute, maybe? Maybe? Who knows? Whereas Z4T0X would never suspect that. Remember, Z4T0X left Helmosaur alive because Helmosaur doesn't have an item. So it's not impossible for Nico to come back. Not impossible. We've seen things this tournament happen. But I mean, it's going to take a huge twist here. Let's see. Yeah, we don't have access to Fat Fairy either, because that one's locked by book/flute as well. Yeah, I kind of feel for Nico because one of his gambles didn't pay off, and then you're in kind of this panic mode where you kind of want to continue to gamble, but you don't really know how. And he finally remembered the silvers. So now he can fight the mimics with the silvers, at least. He did clear out all chests and pod, that's true, but that's also... If Pedestal has something, that's also his undoing. Because why would he ever go back to finish that dungeon other than checking the pedestal, really? You know? And without a book, that is pretty hard. Nico at least gets the time back he lost in Totoroc from checking all chests, because that's what Z4T0X does right now as well. Oh, that's mean, Ileana. I like it. I like it. The 5 if you mean 5 p.m., then yes, that will be a 4-way race on one channel. From what I see, I was going to sign up for commentary for that as well, but they robbed me. So, rip. I'm not... I think... Is that on here or on Speed Gaming too? I can't remember, but that's definitely happening. Nico also... Oh yeah, I forgot about the sword upgrade in pod, so that will make Nico happy as well. Getting his tempered right there. I signed up too late. That's what happened. I'm sorry, but that means I get to watch it, so that's even better, actually. Speed Gaming 4, it seems. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, we're kind of like juggling a couple tournaments over here and over there, so yeah. Schedule changes sometimes have to be done on short notice, so always keep an eye out. And getting Quake, I assume he's leaving and not killing Hellosaur. Whereas Z4T0X is currently finishing up the dungeon in TR, and judging by Nico's chest check, I feel like there's one more item in here. And the worst case scenario for Nico is that this is the flute on turn X. Maybe he just miscounted though, but yeah. I didn't quite count items in Totoroc, so we'll see. Z4T0X with the back, turn X strats, very nice. You can definitely see that he is an MG runner, and not an inexperienced one at that. His boss strats are definitely top tier. His movement is on point, so... Just gotta get the double spin and the hit here on turn X, and then... Oh, misses the double spin. I jinxed him. Feels bad, man. It's just a bottle. It's just a bottle. It's all good. Nico is still alive, grasping at straws right now. Yeah, he's checking overworld locations currently that he hasn't checked before, which Z4T0X, on the other hand, will also have to do at this point, because he can't get into any dungeons that he was already in, so... Going to check a couple locations, and remember, Nico did actually check more overworld locations than Z4T0X did before, so... It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. First of all, we're going to find out what Sasha has, which is interesting. Just the red rupee. And now Z4T0X probably asking himself, what did I miss? And this is not a kind of situation you want to be in. What did I miss? Whereas Nico is going to find the Ice Rod here in Ice Palace, which he's going to make progress crystal-wise. He's going to get his Ice Rod, but it's going to make him feel a little bad. Unfortunately. I think Z4T0X going over to do Smiths and Purple Chest, probably. Maybe also grabbing his powder from the library. We'll see. Or maybe he forgot about that already. I don't know. Nope. He's definitely going to mirror there. He's probably sweating right now a little bit, like hopefully this powder wasn't something and I just left it here for like an hour and 10 minutes. But it's gonna give all of those things a check right now. So that's a bit of time for Nico right there going through Ice Palace that he can try to catch up to Z4T0X Crystal Ice at least a little bit. Did Nico ever check the pegs? I don't actually remember. Well, we'll see if this has anything. Yeah, no, it's unimportant, so... I'm pretty sure Nico did not do the Smith and the purple chest because he was missing the mirror at the time. And that seemed like too much of a hassle for him, so he probably didn't do... definitely didn't do that. So those two locations could hold something. Oh, this missed just forging another 20 rupees for us. Doubled our investment. He's also going to check the bat, which is going to net him another 20 rupees, I want to say. Or maybe a hard piece. Maybe it was a hard piece. And Nico gonna find his ice rod. Sadness. But on the flip side, he will know that he has to not completely clear Ice Palace, which he will be happy with. Because he's going to find his 10 arrows in this chest right here and know, okay, I got all items, let's go. This might lead Nico to the belief, though, hopefully, that Swamp Palace might have something, and for his sake, I hope it's in the first couple of chests. That could be a turnaround. Potentially. He still has to somehow make his way back to Hera. Somehow. I don't know how he would do that, but somehow has to get back there. Another 20 rupees, and now Z4T0X is in a bit of a bind here. Doesn't quite know, probably, He's gonna go back to escape and find his flippers. That will probably make him go into Swamp. Probably. Nico has to be careful here on Cold Stare. Does have the red mail, but can't get hit too much. Alright, looks like he has it under control, though. There we go, Cold Stare goes down. This must feel kind of bad to Z4T0X, though. Because he hasn't really made progress in the last 10-ish minutes. And he knew he sequence broke the flippers. And now he's going to get them and then think, oh dear, if an item is at Swamp, my opponent might have gotten that already. Of course, we know he didn't, but Oh, is Nico going back to Hera? No, 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 go back to Hera. Go back to Hera. Yes. No, 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 Squirrel, go away, Squirrel. Go away. He's going back. He's going back. Alright, so I'm pretty sure Z4T0X still has the odd location out left for the overworld, but his call might be Swamp right now. Yep, it looks like he's going to Dark World there, equipping the hammer. So, that's interesting. Alright, Nico going back into her, and we'll find the hookshot. And he's going to, that must... He has so many setbacks this run, unfortunately. Feels bad, man. Here's the swamp play. So that gives Z4T0X a definite advantage at this point. Like, I'm not even sure what has to happen in order for Nico to catch up to that, because Nico's gambles really put him a bit behind there. The Turtle Rock, leaving this chest behind. That's the two important things. And they didn't pay off, on the contrary. And he misses the bomb jump. And that's a bad one to miss because you fall very deep. Don't go out. Stay there. Okay. Alright. I think the only thing that can save Nico at this point is maybe a tire room gamble in Ganon's tower already. Like, looking forward to that. They're still a bit away from that, but Z4T0X just has the location advantage in general now. What another thing that could potentially save Nico is, let's say Meyer is Bombos, and Z4T0X finds the flute here. And just mirrors out preemptively, just to find out that Meyer is Bombos. That could be a little bit of time he could make back. Nico, by the way, doing the smart play after feigning the bomb jump is just like, alright, you know what, whatever. And that hook shot, that must feel so bad. And he ignores, we know it's right, but he ignores Smoldorm. He's just like, okay. Could you? Oh, he's going back in. He's going back out. He's like, I don't want to do this, but I kind of have to do this. I don't want to, but I have to. Arr! Go, Nico. You can do it. First two chests in Swamp didn't give us anything. Let's see if Z4T0X is, There is nothing in the big chest either. Let's see if Z4T0X skips left side first, or... No, he's actually going for it. Okay, Nico will finish up Turtle Rock, get that done with. That's not a bad idea while you're up here. Especially considering he does still have Hookshot Cave left. And there's one item on turn X, which we know doesn't really do a lot, but yeah, getting that done first is definitely not a bad idea. Oh, bit of trouble there with this switch for Z4T0X. So we got 2 items so far in Swamp. Swamp Palace has 6 potential items. And if we see nothing here, I think it's really likely that the pedestal actually has something, because I can't remember too many locations off the top of my head that they didn't check. Yeah, that seems really likely, honestly. There's rupees, that's 3 items. There's bombos, that's 4 items. Okay, so we got the medallions covered. But we're running low on potential item locations, my friends. We're running low here. Z4T0X still has a couple of locations left, I believe, like Ice Cave and all that. So he must kind of be worried about those. Especially, he knows, okay, there's only 2 items left here. So, we know that it's pretty likely that there is a pedestal in play here, if there's nothing in here, but he might think that one of those locations he missed earlier might have had one of those items. Man, this is the moment of truth right here. Pedestal is not checked, we don't have a book. There's the flute though! There it is! And that is, by all intents and purposes, go mode for Z4T0X! Bailed it out. I was excited to see what Z4T0X would have done if there was no flute there. But yeah, that is go mode. He just needs to activate the swag duck and then finish the 2 dungeons he has left and then go to G Tower. Still doesn't know how to read, yeah. Well, Nico is doing as well as he can for missing out or like having those 2 gambles that backfired. Yeah, it's really just come down to Nico's gambles not paying off this race, and Z4T0X's gamble with Pod immediately actually paying off a little bit right there. And curious to see what Meyer holds here. He won't show us until he does Desert. I see how it is. Yeah, that's what you get for not showing us, you know? That's what you get. That's what you get, dude. Because if Meyer is Quake, it would have been Pot would have been required for Quake. If it was Bombos, you know, he actually needed the Swamp Bombos. And Nico is finishing Hera, yeah. You might need that key, my friends. Might want to grab that, yeah. It's unfortunate that Swamp was not on his radar right now for a gamble, but like, yeah, Nico isn't, like I mentioned earlier, he's in this gamble spiral where he can't get out, and he just doesn't know what to do anymore. Really unfortunate run for Nico, because those gambles, I mean, Turtle Rock, when you feel you're behind 50 minutes in and you can go into Turtle Rock, it's a reasonable enough gamble, especially if you know your opponent is good at this game. But it can also just backfire like it did this race, unfortunately. And from there, it was just chaos. Like, missing out on the hookshot is another big thing that probably makes his head spin a little bit right there. In the meantime, Z4T0X's making short work of Desert here. There's also only Butter Sword left as a convenience item, I believe. Yeah. We got silvers, we got all mail upgrades. Well, I guess we could go for more shields, but really, that's not what you open chests for or check locations for. The only thing that is left that would help us going faster is the Butter Sword. And that's something, if you have tempered, I think most runners are confident in their play to say, hey, you know, with tempered, I'm almost as fast as butter. I don't need to check locations for that. Ooh, Landmo missing 2 shots there with the arrows. Ah, there we go. Sniped. So all we have is Meyer that is left. Excited to find out what medallion it is. Because you can always kind of think back, hey, I found that in Pod, or hey, I found that in Justin Swamp, or hey, that was one of the first items I actually picked up. Let's see here. Bombos! It was indeed Bombos! So, Swamp with the double requirement for this area here. Alright, now since we are in go mode, we of course hope for a very early big key in this dungeon. This is probably the biggest dungeon with a lot of chests that has the smallest payout. A lot of these chests are just like small keys and stuff. Ooh, very nice fire out strats there from Z4T0X for the first room. Very well done. Just kind of missing one of them there, which is a bit unfortunate, but yeah. Niko double checking Aga. He's missing something. Let's see here. He just doesn't want to go into Swamp, really, I think, and that's kind of what's holding him back right now. I think he kind of, like, pushed off Swamp because he didn't have the hookshot for so long, and now doesn't think about it. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I guess... Let's see... No early big key for Z4T0X, so he will have to make his way into the deeper ends of this dungeon, which you really don't want to when you're in go mode, but at the same time, for a race, it really doesn't matter where it is, honestly, because you know, hey, your opponent has to do like the same thing you have to do, so it's fine. There it is. There it is. The big key, so he can just now go to Vidi and finish this dungeon off. And in the meantime, Niko's still struggling with himself, trying to somehow justify making your way over to Swamp. I think with the purple chest in tow, that's going to happen rather sooner than later, though. Alright, and now Vitreous with the silver arrows. Not a big problem, as you can see, you can one-shot the eyes. And then two-shot Vitreous himself once he comes out. Easy boss fight, no problem. And then puts him at 7 crystals, so he will be making his way up to Ganon's tower. And I think, yeah, it's finally time for Nico to do what he needs to do and go into Swamp. A little bit too late. I would have loved to see this gamble earlier. But he unfortunately also didn't have the hook shot, so it's understandable. That's really like... It's so unfortunate. Alright, and as Z4T0X is approaching Ganon's tower, Ganon's tower is a pretty big place. And in order to actually travel up Ganon's tower, we do need to find a big key. Unfortunately, there's 22 locations where the big key could be, so what is your guess? Where could the key be? How many locations is it going to take Z4T0X in order to find it? Feel free to guess in chat. Personally, I always like to go with 7 because, you know, lucky number 7, but we'll see. It's in the tower room. That's something that could, if Nico goes for a tower room gamble and Z4T0X has to clear out the full dungeon, that could at least bring him closer. Remember, he still has to do 2 dungeons, so... But yeah. Well, so far we have a small key, and Z4T0X deciding to go left side. A lot of runners will decide, if they get a small key down there, they will decide to immediately go right. But not Z4T0X. Z4T0X deciding, hey, you know, I feel good about my run, I'm gonna go left instead. Let's see what the left side holds. So far we have 3 locations checked. At 5. That's 7, so I'm out. Oh no, Nico, no, no! Dude, just saying it in chat and then, yeah, he skipped out on left side. No. Oh no. That's going to prolong. Oh no. Oh no. So unfortunate. Like, it's not even an unreasonable... like, this is a reasonable play, putting it down here. The chances that you have the medallion that you need is 66%. And... that Bombus is on left side, it's just so unlucky, honestly. It's just so unlucky. That's 9 locations for Z4T0X, by the way. But that's just, I mean... yeah, he just bolted for the flute. Which is, again, this is a completely reasonable play. And 90% of the people would have probably done the same in this spot, honestly. It's just good for Z4T0X that he checked left side first. That's 11, 12, and 13. I mean, especially considering that this is a one-on-one matchup, this is a completely reasonable play the way Nico's run went. So he's just getting insanely unlucky right now. Just like the whole rest of his run, basically. But you have those days where just nothing will come together for you. I know that feel, that's for sure. So we'll have location 14 here. Ah! And he sees bombos. Oh, poor Nico. Poor Nico, dude. Ah. Z4T0X making short work of Ice Armos. He gets Butter Sword though, in the Mire Shed. 17, still counting. Yo, Crinsoon just beat Andy. Flute on pedestal with Mire required, dang. That sounds like quite the race, honestly. We were kind of hoping for the same here to make the race closer, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. Oh, and he did get the book. Aye, that's that might mean for him he will probably go check the pedestal as well. Aye. Yeah, but Z4T0X is still looking for the big key. And Z4T0X cannot feel good about skipping the right side if the key is here. He can't feel that his opponent is too far behind because he did make a couple of, or he had a couple of, you know, spots in his run where he was looking for items for a couple minutes. So he can't feel too good about it. There it is. There it is. That was 19, I believe. Yes, 19 was the golden number. But Z4T0X will go up now. But again, he can't feel too good about it. In the meantime, Nico will at least clear out Desert, which he has access to right now. Kind of hoping for Bombos to pop up here somehow. But unfortunately, he left it in Swamp. Yeah, Z4T0X just kind of decided to ignore the right side. He did get the small key at the very start, so he could have gone there immediately. But he decided to do the whole left side, mirror out after he got the first two chests there. And then go back right, so... Alright, Z4T0X entering the gauntlets. Since he is an NMG runner, this shouldn't be a huge problem for him. However, this is what you get for not showing us Mire earlier, Z4T0X, my friends. Oh yes. These rooms can be a bit troubling, especially since the enemies do move, you know, in a random way. There are certain setups to get efficiently through the room, almost no matter what the patterns are. But sometimes they will still catch you off guard, and you know, you have to kind of adjust in a weird way. So yeah, he's trying his best right here, and it's getting through the last two rooms very efficiently there. And after Nico finished Landmos right now, Z4T0X is finishing Landmos as well. Wow, what a close race. Kappa! Okay, Wizard Room. Easy. Z4T0X is a bit low on magic. Still enough for this storage room though. He will stock up in the next one. And there's the pedestal check from Nico, so we'll find out early what the pedestal had, at least. Let's see here, what we got? Magic power is half magic, wow! Oh man, I've never seen half magic on a pedestal before. Believe it or not. That's a rare one. And yeah, he's going back to swamp. He's going to find Bombos and be like, "Wow, this seed is. I just want to forget the seed, please. Can I have my next match already?" Oh no! Oh no! That's right. Desert was the Fat Fairy Crystal, wasn't it? Oh dear God. See, like, if this game, when it baits you real hard. It gives you a book so you can check the pedestal, the tablets. It does let you do Fat Fairy, and all of a sudden you are like just like doing these huge 10-minute detours. Ah, it's really, really unfortunate. But yeah, Z4T0X moving into Aga 2 after getting something in the validation. A rupee. Thank God for chat and that pays attention. That's a nice triple there, I believe. Oh no, one of them did not count. I didn't quite catch which hit didn't count, but there we go. That was either 3-2-1 or 2-3-1. I don't know, but that's a very good fight right there. Nico not getting anything from Fat Fairy, of course. And now moving into Ganon. With all the hearts and potions and stuff he has, this should not be an issue. Getting hit a couple times with the fire bats here, but still very good on hearts. Unless he decides to randomly hug Ganon a couple times. He should be okay. Did you find the silver arrows? We sure did. They were not hidden very well. Let's put it that way. All right, and now with the silver arrows until you need to hit Ganon 4 times with those after freezing him. Got a nice double there. And now one more hit, and then that's that. All right, GG for Z4T0X. And he's going to be finishing with an official SRL time of 1:43.13. Very well done. GG. I'm of course going to try and get him in here for an interview. In the meantime, we get to watch Nico go through Swamp Palace. He stopped there to say GG to Z4T0X, by the way, so don't worry. He's not giving up, I assume. He just said GG dude in IRC. Yeah, let's see if we can get Z4T0X in here. Nico is about to find his bombos here. Just gotta get to that left side. And then he's probably gonna curse the seed. Alright, Z4T0X is immediately falling into bed, apparently. He's been up for way over 17 hours at this point, so we sadly, we won't get an interview. I would have liked to ask him a couple questions about how he felt about certain spots in the seed, but, yeah. Unfortunately. Health comes before an interview, I feel, so there we go. Yeah, this one, if you're joining new from Andy's match, Nico did 2-3 gambles that put him really far behind. Very unfortunate turnouts for his plays. They were not really unreasonable for how he was in the race, but they just turned out to be, you know, they just turned out to be nothing for him in them, so that put him behind really far. Yeah, aside from leaving some key items in dungeons, after getting key items in those dungeons, to be fair, so let's not be unfair. He decided to gamble on TR because he kind of figured he was behind a little bit, and TR didn't pay out at all. And yeah, we do have the bombos, we do have the go mode for Nico. So he'll be doing Meyer, and then maybe he can still, if he goes right side, he can definitely still get a sub 2, which would be, after the troubles he had throughout the run, that would be an amazing time for him to finish on. So we'll see. All he needs to do is clear Meyer, which is reasonably fast if he finds the big key fast, and then we'll see. The magic saver sleeps again forever. Alright, so that does put Z4T0X, just tournament-wise, at a 1-1. While Nico is going 0-2, but both of them still with all the chances to advance. Remember, all you gotta do is win 3 times, you are in a tiebreaker race 4 times, and you advance to the next round, the group stage. So, we got 4 matches left after this, so all Nico gotta do is win all of them. It's that easy. It's that easy. We are still in Swiss. This is week 2. There's 6 Swiss matches in total. So after this Sunday, we'll get a full new round of matchups for week 3. And then after week 3, we're halfway through. SirNiko approaching Vitreous here, also going to utilize his silver arrows for a nice and easy fight. Made decent use of powder there as well on the anti-fairies. And that's it for Vidi. Getting his still heart piece, which gives him a full heart. That's very nice. Now we're off to Ganon's tower. Now I would say, heh, guess how many chests it takes him, but that's well, actually that's kind of interesting, I guess, because we don't know which way he will go, huh? But normally he should find it after 4? I believe it's 4 for him. If he goes right. Now if he goes left, different story entirely. 19. Now he could be cheeky and open the left chest in that room first. How about that? Then it's 21. Heh. But yeah, I mean, he can potentially, I believe, still get that sub 2 if he hustles a little bit here. Alright, here we go. Alright, man. Go right. Okay, there we go. Nice. Now let's see how many chests he actually needs for the big key, though. Because I'm gonna say 6. How about that? No! That was 4. Dun dun dun. Alright. Well, just gotta get the small key here, and then he'll be able to travel up. Let's see. He has 6 minutes to finish the game. I guess that's a little too much, huh? Oh, gotta activate God mode. Interesting way of getting rid of the mimics here. Pretty efficient though. Nice. Yeah, he's vastly approaching the gauntlet. And we'll see how he does on that. Oh, first room looks good to me. Beautiful. Room number 2. Ooh, nice arrow there. Very nicely done. That's a good strat right there. Very nice. Very nice. Good rooms. Nice. Yeah, that was really good, honestly. Very well done. Ooh. We get to see the bugged out Landmo sprites. If you charge up your sword and then shoot arrows while the sword is still charged, the sprites bug out in all the good ways. Very, very good there. And he got 1 cycle, so yeah, he's hustling. He's hustling. Eyeing for that sub 2. That's like, he might still be able to make it, and that's after double dipping 4 dungeons. Oh yeah, he went to Hera 3 times as well, yeah. Forgot that he went back to kill Moldorm. Ah. Okay, just gotta make sure that he gets the key from the mini Helma here. And he does, very nice. Sometimes, you know, people, not me though, definitely not me, forget about this mini Helma sword key, but I would never do that. Okay, so all that's left is Moldorm, Agate 2, and Ganon. I think it's going to barely not be enough to sub 2, unfortunately, but yeah, still. Very nice Ganon's tower. Very nice. Very well done. Kind of ending this run as, with a strong point here. Ooh, the hook strats to set up the mini Hamas in a good way. Very nice. Alright, let's see if he can get a similarly good Agate 2 fight than as Z4T0X did. I think that only counted as 1. That's a triple. Yep. So we had 1, 3, 1, and probably 1. Alright, there we go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's barely not gonna be enough for sub 2, unfortunately. Alright. Phase 1 is down. With the Butter Sword, you only need 6 hits per phase, so yeah, just gotta make sure to get those in. Personally, I do like to do 7 hits, just to make sure I did do 6 hits. There's really no time wasted doing that, so... But yeah, now we got the teleports, and then we gotta connect with the 4 silver arrows, and then... it's all done. Boy, did we find the light arrows. Oh, getting hit by the flame there. Okay, that's fine. There we go, and there it goes. Ganon dies sub 2, but that's sadly not enough. GG to Nico. Very well done. There he goes with an official time of 2 hours and 12 seconds. GG. Let me see if we can get Nico in here. Alright, and Nico is going to come and jump in. He just needs to connect his headphones. So we can definitely grab him for an interview, just give him a short moment here. But yeah, I mean, the race really came down to the 2 gambles Nico did that really did not pay off anything, whereas Z4T0X did the pod's quote-unquote gamble. It wasn't really gamble, but he did find the lamp there, which made sure that he could go up to her without worrying about sequence breaking, and then, yeah, he just had a bit more of a straightforward run there than Nico did. The big one, probably the Turtle Rock gamble. And of course, preemptively mirroring out of Hera, that was... I mean, after finding the myths, I understand, I get it, but like that the hookshot's there as well, it's just like, Alright, we got Nico in the waiting room, let's see. Alright.
I can hear you, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello, hello, welcome. GG to you, sir.
Thank you. Almost got sub 2 hours. Almost.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed. Like, I was looking at the timer and I was like, wow, if he gets sub 2 with us, that would be awesome. Fortunately, missed it by like 12 seconds, but yeah, still pretty good. How do you feel about the race or the seed in general?
I like the seed. I feel like I made some routing errors in the beginning. Getting the cape immediately really threw me in the wrong mind step. I just kept thinking, okay, I just need lamp, and then I can kill Aga. I just need lamp, I can kill Aga, and it totally slipped my mind that I have hammer, I have gloves, I don't need Aga.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I was thinking that because you knew that the gloves were on a sequence break, that you were kind of just looking for the item that would get you to the gloves, and you got that eventually. So I was kind of just like thinking, hey, he's just thorough about his starting, and then he's going to, you know, kind of start developing his Dark World from there. But man, that didn't even cross my mind right there, that the cape would make you think that.
Yeah, so that threw me off. I felt really good when I found the boots, and I felt good about killing the Mothula, and then it fell apart from there, that I made way too many double dips into dungeons that I did not need to.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, especially Hera was heartbreaking. We knew the hook was there, and you mirrored out, and we were like, no.
Oh, and I kept thinking about it, and I kept thinking, I really should look, because it's not going to take that long. But I kept thinking, it's a pendant. Just, I don't want to do a pendant.
Yeah, understandable, really understandable. But at the same time, yeah, it's unfortunate how it... And then at the end there with Swamp as well, with Bombos, the same thing, really, yeah.
As I said, I had 2 medallions. I got a 60% chance I'm going to go with it, and it was the wrong gamble.
That's what I said, though. Like, I mean, in your position at that point, I think 90% of the runners would do the same thing, honestly. Like, I know I would. I can't speak for everybody, but I'm pretty sure 90% of the people would have done the same.
But no, I felt pretty good about it. I felt good about my execution. My routing was terrible, but I felt pretty good about my execution. I think I missed a Hera bomb jump, and that hurt me. But, I mean, like, my Ganon tower climb, I felt good about that. I felt like I did that perfect. My Mothula fight I was really happy with, so that I had no complaints about. Messed up the quick kill on Cold Stare, but I finished it up without dying, and that's the best you can ask for.
Definitely, definitely. I can't really say I've seen anything that where I would say, that wasn't so good. Like you mentioned the Hera bomb jump that you missed, but other than that, it was really smooth. So yeah, definitely, I can agree to that.
Well, I'm just glad to be in this tournament. I came in at 86 out of 87, so I'm just happy that you guys invited me to join.
Yeah, and I mean, you were playing really well. So there's, like you said, you had a couple of unfortunate routing. I wouldn't even call them routing errors. It's just like a kind of an unfortunate chain of events that happened to you, pretty much. Which, yeah, sometimes just happens when the seed does certain things, and you kind of want to go fast. I mean, you knew your opponent probably. You know that Z4T0X is a very good runner of this game. So when you go into dungeons, you probably think, hey, I don't want to waste a lot of time here, so if I find something, I might just want to go out immediately and then go on my way. So definitely understandable from that point of view.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, and I look forward to doing the next round next week.
Yeah, so you are 0-2, but I mean, I mentioned it earlier. All you need is 4 wins, and I wish you good luck for those next 4 matches you're going to have. Enjoy them. We are enjoying watching you, so yeah, thanks
Thank you very
for
much.
racing. Thank you.
All right.
And yeah, that's going to do it for us for now. Let me quickly check how late it is. It is math, because I'm in a different time zone. It's 4:30 right now. Am I seeing that right, or is it 3:30?
4:30 is correct.
It's 4:30. All right. So in half an hour on Speed Gaming 4, there will be a double race, and it's going to be Gamer Cal versus Andy. Not the Andy that played on the other race earlier, but And4H, another very good player though. And we will have a JSR2 versus Ruble at the same time on the same channel. Double whammy, commentated by Adira Dakrick and Herfy Durfy, so you shouldn't miss that. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm not quite sure where we are going to go from here, but I'm sure Fiesel will find something reasonable to host. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the commentary. Hope you enjoyed the race, as always. Make sure to tune in at 5 at Speed Gaming 4. And thank you very much to my tracker, Dude. Thank you. Always a pleasure. And yeah, guys, stay classy. I'll see you next race. Cheers.